Hi, everyone. Today I have a little question for you to think about. It's kind of just something for you to ask yourself and to maybe kind of bring some awareness to something that may have happened for you in your life. So, my question is this: have you ever had something traumatic happen or very difficult emotionally in your life, and many years later, has that thing kind of come up for you again, where you start feeling like it needs some attention from you? And if so, have you done something about it? And if you have, so this is kind of a two-part question, maybe a three-part question actually. And if you have done something about it, did you find that it never bothered you again? Or did you find that maybe years after that, that memory kind of came up for you again and you couldn't figure out why? So just kind of considering that, have you had something happen and where you processed it emotionally, or you thought that you had, maybe you went to some therapy, you did some work about it, and you felt peace. You felt like you had peace about it. But then it came up for you again years later. If that has happened to you, I want you to hear this, because so often we kind of turn on ourselves and we kind of berate ourselves, saying that we didn't really do the work we thought we had done, and maybe even say to ourselves that we're just so broken we'll never be healed. And that's not the truth, because that's actually not what's happening when this occurs. When we have done the work, when we have truly processed through an event and it comes up for us later, it does not mean that you didn't do the work you thought you did. What it means is there's still something else about that memory or that event that maybe was overlooked. And I call this sweeping out the corners. So imagine a room. You have a room, you're going to go clean up this room. The room has things all over the floor and just everywhere. But you're in a rush. And I'm not saying that you're in a rush when you're doing your healing work, but I just want you to imagine it this way. When we're trying to get something taken care of, what do? We go in and we go to the center. We go to the main area so that it's visually clear for us. And we look and we're like, yes, I've got this. I cleaned this space up. It's looking good. I feel good about it. And you go on, right? Maybe we even feel comfortable having people come over because, the main area is clear. But are there things kind of tucked in the closets or in a drawer or, in this out of the way space that no one's actually going to see right here and now if we were having company come over? But we know it's still there, right? However, our emotions can do the same thing. We can get that core thing in the memory, in the traumatic experience. We can get the core thing taken care of. We can go back. We can process through that. We can feel those feelings. We can come to peace with whatever that was, and still have that memory kind of come up and touch a nerve for us later. It's because, what did we put in the drawer? What did we shove in the closet? What did we put under the rug, sweep under the rug, or push out of the way? What's in the corners of the room? Is there another person in that memory that we need to address an issue with? Is there another emotion? If we went back for one particular emotion, if we kept feeling not good enough and we went back in time to the first time we're remembering this event, we go back in time to the first time we're remembering that we didn't feel good enough, or if that memory that was coming up for us, if that the emotion that was driving us there was, I don't feel good enough. Is it possible that in that memory, even though you processed and really came to peace with, I do feel good enough now, could it be possible that later the anger or the sadness, the grief about that situation is tucked in the drawer or pushed in the closet? Yeah, it's absolutely possible, and quite likely. It's not unusual. I'd say it's actually very common for any one traumatic or difficult experience to have multiple emotions that we need to address. But they aren't going to necessarily all come up for us at the same time, because we may have an experience in our now that drives us back to, I remember this is reminding me of this other time when I didn't feel good enough. And it might be the first time you were really aware of it. And that's what I do in my hypnosis work with people, is we go back to the first time we felt that feeling. Especially, if it's touching something in your present. If right now you're feeling not good enough about something, where in your past did that come from? Let's heal that in order to heal the now. And so we'll have that emotion, but then there will also be other emotions around that same event. In that same experience, we're also going to feel other things. It's just not likely that there's one emotion, right? Because we have so many emotions. We're constantly in emotion. So one particular event may have multiple emotions that we need to address. So we want to go and sweep out the corners and ask ourselves, what other feeling is there back in this event? What is it that I need to look at? Is there some other person I need to kind of make resolution with? And that doesn't mean that you're actually making resolution with that person face to face now, because sometimes it's not even possible. Sometimes someone's not living. Maybe they're not in your life anymore. Maybe you just don't want to do that. And really, what you really need to do is to make peace for yourself more than anything. So if you can come to peace with that, you don't necessarily need to have that person right there. But we may need to go back to get the things out of the corners, out of the drawer, out of the closet. We need to address all of the feelings that we have about something. So the reason I wanted to share this with you is because so often I'll have someone be like, and I've experienced this myself too, where I have processed something or they have processed something, and it feels pretty complete. It feels like, yeah, I feel like I can move on from this. And then it will just start kind of coming up. We'll just have a flash of that memory again. And we know there's something else there. But what we tend to do is say, I guess I just didn't do it. I guess I just can't heal this. And that's not true. I hear people say that they're broken and they'll always be broken. And we are not. We are not broken. We are not irreparable. Everything is healable. We just have to be willing to look at it. We have to be willing to walk through it. We can heal it. We can feel better about things. We can take what we learned and move that with us into a newer understanding of ourselves and the world around us, and realize that we aren't broken, okay? We're not broken, but we do need to sweep the corners. So even maybe think about this the next time you're kind of cleaning your house. Our inclination often is, we want to vacuum the middle of the room, get that all taken care of, but we don't go in the corners. We don't clean out the junk drawer every day. We aren't emptying our closets out every time we clean, right? It's stuff we get to later. So just think of it that way. Maybe it's something that you didn't see at the first glance, but that you need to get to later. And so just remember that, okay? Don't beat yourself up. You haven't totally missed something. You haven't not done the work. It just means there's something else there. There's something else to discover. There's something else to find and to feel and to heal. And you can do it. You can find my book, Free from the Cage, on my website at jennifer-riggs.com. It is a guide to take you from overwhelm to peace. It helps you process emotions, to change your mindset so that you can feel and be your truest best self. Thanks so much for watching. You can also go onto my website and there are free downloadables. Actually all the exercises from within my book at the end of each chapter are free right there on my website. You don't even have to buy the book. You can just go ahead and get those exercises for free. And if they resonate with you, then I encourage you to buy a copy of the book so that you can get all the other information that goes along with it. And there's also lots of videos and other information. And you can reach out to me if you have questions or if you want to set up a session with me. Again, it's jennifer-riggs.com. And I thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.